Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am once again your caster, Tetcher. We are on our second game for the day. We're going to have some fun. We just watched an amazing Division E East match, and now we are jumping over to Division C West. Let's get this going. Let's have a look at the table to see what is going on and some previous matches for these two teams. We're going to be covering Counterpick Stupid versus Artemis. Artemis sitting currently in 5th place with 16 points. A win today will take them above Can't Connect Stuns, and will put them a little bit closer to Clouded Minds After Dark. Whereas Counterpick Stupid, they still have a couple games left this season, and they need to basically dominate all of them to push themselves towards that playoff spot, as they are 3 points behind 9th and 8th place, and 5 points behind 7th. I just need to give the players hearts because they're being absolutely lovely. Sorry for the distraction. Feels good. So, as you can see in previous results though, Counterpick Stupid are currently on a little bit of a losing streak, losing to Bloodbath and Beyond and Cool Cats and Kittens, both in 0-2s. Artemis, they are coming in with all the momentum in the world, where they have a 2-1 over Can't Connect Stuns and Cool Cats and Kittens, beating the team that Counterpick Stupid lost to. Also, this is just the lobby of CCS teams. Can't Connect Stuns, Can't Counterpick Stupid, and I thought there was another... No, it looks like there was only two. My bad there. There is a CM After Dark and a Cool Cats and Kittens, so another CC in there with Cool Cats. But looks like we're going to be ready to jump in very shortly. I'm just going to let them know that caster is R, so that they can jump in at any point. But yes, this match, really important for CCS to try and catch themselves up on the board and make their way back into contention when it comes to those playoffs. Let's have a look at the maps now, where we can see where we are going, where we cannot go, and where we shall never go again. We shall be, as you can see here, the coin flip was actually won by CCS. They chose to go for map ban, which is a little bit more unusual, as statistically First Pick does have a higher win rate, but only by a little. CCS still feeling very confident here, and as such, we're going to be seeing Tomb of the Spider Queen and Braxis banned up by them, Artemis taking out Towers of Doom and Infernal Shrine, with the first map chosen by CCS going to be Garden of Terror. Feels good. Alrighty. Also, I apologize about Artemis' logo being a wee bit small. That is literally just how they formatted it, so that is how it looks now. Unlucky. That's just how it be, as it were. So, we have CCS ready. We are waiting for the ready from Artemis, who appear to be being nicknamed CCS 68.2. Oh dear. Lots of amusement is happening between the teams. They're having a lovely time as we are getting ready to jump on in. In the meantime, we can talk about some statistics for these two teams. If we have a look at the map, which once again, Garden of Terror shall be the map. CCS yet to play it. Sorry, no, they have played it before, and they have a 0% win rate, so they will get themselves to a 50% win rate if they are able to emerge victorious here. Same thing is true, though, for Artemis, also yet to win on Garden of Terror. Both teams playing it once, both teams losing once. We'll see what they are able to do. But we have a look at the hero pools, and they start to tell a story. With Can't Counterpick Stupid, they do have that Asmodan, a very good hero here. They like that Falstad, they played that once, so they have a couple globals here as potential options to try and control the map that way. But even that, they also have the Zool, great for wave clear, Gasso as well. Ragnaros, fantastic for the late game. They can try and sneak stuff with that. And they played Zagara once and have a 100% win rate with it. Artemis, on the other hand, here's where things start to get a little scary, where they have been taken to one of the largest maps and one of the longest going maps. And they have a Vikings player, 5 games, 80% win rate. They have a Rag player, 1 game, 0% win rate, same with their Falstad. These teams are very similar, but they also have a Samuro player, 75% win rate across 4 games. So they have, in terms of macro tools, potentially a much more heavily leaning macro hero pool available to them. Honestly, thank you very much for the follow, and that is a great name because it makes me sound really sincere. Feels good. The teams are ready. We're going to be heading into the draft, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be game number 1. Garden of Terror shall be the map. Artemis with first pick and first ban, as CCS have chosen to take us to their garden. Let's see who's going to come out on top in this game number 1 of this best of 3 series. Artemis, what do we see from them? Their most banned heroes are Mei, Garrosh, and Diablo, focusing on that tank pool. We'll see which way they go. If they were to focus onto Can't Counterpick Stupid, Johanna would be their top ban. But instead, they get rid of Garrosh once again. Garrosh played only twice by Can't Counterpick Stupid, has yet to win with it. Most banned heroes from the side of Can't Counterpick Stupid, Brightwing, Chromie, ETC, and Deckard. So sticking a little bit more at those healers and a little bit of poke potential. With the ETC, there is always a risk of Mosh. The odds of you being killed by Mosh are low, but never zero. We're going to be... The odds of the... Sorry, there's the phrase. The odds of the 5-man Mosh is low, but never zero. Honestly, I will be as nice as I am to everyone. As much as your name is fantastic to me and that you have been lovely in the lobby, you will not get the special treatment. Because everyone gets a special treatment, which is what makes it not special. We're going to be seeing the Vikings taken out of action. Very smart. I wouldn't be surprised if we see CCS also taking out that, the Samuro for similar reasons here. Artemis for now. They do ban Johanna. They focus onto the tank pool a little bit. Going to be taking that out of the equation. This is CCS's top tank. CCS now. Where do we see them go? They've already taken out one of the global heroes. Again, it's a very wide map. They do take out the Samuro. Looking good. We're removing all the globals here. So now in terms of macro, Asmodan and Ragnaros are 2 of the top heroes for these teams. When it comes to that incredible split pressure. How do Artemis choose to start off? Because Lava Wave on a map like this is pretty decent. It's long, it's wide. The Lava Wave almost touched the side. It's garden. It's pretty good. We're starting off with Mephisto, though. An early assassin pickup for the members of Artemis, looking to play a little bit more aggressively here. They have a 100% Mephisto win rate. 3 games played, 3 games won. It's not too high up in their pick rates, but it is strong. Now, in terms of macro picks, again, Ragnaros still available. Sonya still available for CCS here, but they also have that Diva, which they're not going to pick. Not going for Diva, who is actually a quicker rotator than Sonya on this map, especially if you go for the either hit the Nitros or the get on the point. Both very good for hard, quick rotations, but Sonya gives them a lot more aggro and the potential to try and dive onto Mephisto. Sylvanas, really good for D-push, going to give them a lot of macro potential. Going to give them a lot more freedom there. 3 games played, 1 game won with that Sylvanas. Gives them some good options. There's the Diablo. And Reyna coming in for the members of Artemis. Now, Artemis here are setting themselves up for what could be a very interesting draft. They've given themselves some fantastic harassment damage with Mephisto and a finisher in the form of Reyna. Giving themselves a lot of flexibility here, but their support is going to be interesting to me, because there is a support that would really heavily empower this composition, especially going into the late game and on these objective-based fights. One support that would really, really give them value. Deckard is going to be banned out, not who I was thinking of, but the pick they could do is a riskier pick, because it is very heavily committing into one style of play. We will have to see if that is the route they wish to go down. For now, with Deckard banned out, that would still be good. Dropping that Stay a While and Listen with a setup for the Apocalypse could be very effective. Malfurion. Big heals for Sylvanas, roots to set up for Sonya. that sleep to try and shut down Mephisto, just drop it under where he's going to land. Really scary to deal with. Makes a lot of sense. It's a solid ban. CCS now. What do we see? They still need a tank, need a second assassin, a healer, or multiple bruisers. But a healer, no matter what, it's required. And there it is. They get Stukov, and Abathur is showing up. With Vikings and Samuro taken out of action, they pick Abathur. For the first time, they have not shown Abathur before. They have warmed up and practiced for it. This is why they chose the map. So they now have that global potential. And it's why Sonya suddenly makes a lot more sense than D.Va. It's already very strong, and Sonya is one of the most overpowered heroes at the moment in general with Slam build. But now with Abathur on the board, it is terrifying. Artemis. Brightwing could be available for a little bit of global. They go for Lucio. Lucio very solid into Sonya, can really try and slow him down. Leoric actually will struggle into Sonya if Sonya's able to land her spear. It's a pretty standard matchup. If Leoric lands his Drain, he wins. If Sonya lands her spear, she wins. But Slam build Sonya allows Sonya to fight Leoric from outside of his range, in theory. Needs to be played quite well. But Sonya scaling into the late game very, very well. We'll have to see how that goes. Final pickup for CCS. They go for that Imperious main tank. Another great hat target. They've got themselves some macro. Leo can double soak quite effectively. This will help them out. And I'm very glad they didn't go for my choice, with Imperious being the last pick here. The healer I was thinking of here is they could have maybe tried to sneak in Alex Straza with Globe builds for Devil's Due and Spite on level 4 for Mephisto, where they could have just tried to bully CCS that way by just spamming on the objectives every time and Diablo being basically immortal. But they went for a much more aggressive style where they were getting ready to get stuck in a lot more and go very aggressive onto CCS. I hope you're all getting ready to have a good time. This is a best of 3 series for Division C West. I am Tetcher, your caster, and we're going to be jumping into Garden of Terror, our game number 1, very shortly. Remember, if you enjoy the cast, consider dropping a subscription or a donation using bits or the donation link below the stream. I only survive off of the kindness of all of you and a tiny bit of work I get on Fiverr. Speaking of which, I might be the voice in a Fnatic beef jerky ad. That's happening, or a voice in it. They have a narrator, but I'm casting in it for reasons. Not sure what's happening there, but Fiverr, hey. But we're going to be getting ready to jump into game number 1. The second everyone's hamster wakes up from its lovely dinner comatose, and we will be able to get into the game once everyone has loaded up. But reminder, if you enjoy, please subscribe, please donate. It is literally the only way I can keep doing these casting. This casting is if I keep getting your support. Thank you for watching. We're going to be jumping in very shortly. We're just waiting for Osprey, which is apparently pronounced Osprey, even though in the UK it is Osprey. So forgive me when I inevitably butcher that one. But we'll be doing our best. We will do our best to keep it correct and under control. We're probably going to mess it up. That's how it be. Let's get on in, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for game number 1 of our best of 3 series. On the left-hand side, in the blue trunks, it shall be... Can't counterpick stupid. Gib is playing the Sylvanas. Osprey on the Sonya. Wit's End on the Stukov. Caeladorn will be on the Abathur, and I don't think I've seen that skin before. Sorry, that shook me for a bit. I think I've seen that skin. That's kind of dope. And of course, Valkymer will be playing on the Imperious. Whereas on the right-hand side, it shall be Artemis, with Dark Horse playing the Raider. Honestly, on the Dahaka, Ashkan will be playing on the Mephisto. He's moving so fast. Jotak on the Leoric, and Seven will be playing Lucio. I'm Tetcher, I'm your caster, and this is CCS setting a trap. The mine, the spear, the murder, the death, the humanity! Seven! He jumps away with the kickoff, and that is first blood going over to Can't Counterpick Stupid as they set up a beautiful trap to catch the members of Artemis. Good first kill for them. First blood is taken. Osprey going to be taking over the mid lane for the moment. Interesting. They're leaving Abatha solo in the top lane to try and soak against Reyna, who should just push really hard here. There's two strategies you can do against this. One is just to freeze the lane and just let Abatha push in, but in this case, you really should just push up as hard as you can. You are Reyna, and he is Exterminator. We have the Furious Spark coming in for the Mephisto, getting some big damage output. The Feast on Fear, standard stuff for Diablo at level 1. And we're going Symbiote build, baby, with Pressurized Glands at level 1 for Abatha. Low blow for Stukov, though, is one that is a little bit less common, but with the style they're playing that we just saw, spear into low blow on that Stukov means absolute murderization. Mephisto taking over top lane for a bit because Reyna is starting on mercenary camps. Getting a little bit of control there. 7. Poking away at Gib. Nothing too aggressive as of yet. Slow from Jotak, but they're not able to find the angle for Honestly to get the charge as of yet. This will change as the game goes on. Siege camps taken by Sonya as well. Counter pressure in the top lane. Reyna unable to do a bruiser camp. There's a kill into Imperius. Counter kill by Artemis this time. Able to catch them on the rotation, playing equally as aggressively. Both these teams looking for kills as a bruiser cab steal is going to be started and attempted by Artemis here. Will they be able to secure this? We're going for a Life Leech Diablo full auto attack build. Very interesting. Gib needs to be careful. This is a rough place to be. Ooh, Wit's End did not notice that this was happening. Tries to move in, but it's very zoned out. Gib takes a lot of damage. Cap is already stolen, and the retreat will come out. We're going to be seeing that Needle Spine. Big poke and poke range and damage increase. Very nicely done. Going to take control of this first seed, going over to Artemis, who are beginning to gain a little bit of momentum, stealing that camp, getting the seed. They're holding quite well. Abatha actually has been holding this quite well, despite the extra push that's been coming out, is keeping this lane pretty under control, at least at this stage. Osprey trying to push out Ashken. Trying to create extra pressure as we see a little bit of a scuffle down in mid lane. Valkyma looking for the spear, huge damage output. Went for the Celestial Spear, cooldown reduction 7. Forced to wrap all the way around the low blow. It will do a lot of damage to these lower health heroes. As Ashken does some good work here. We're going to be seeing that Impending Light, as we said, with Battle Hunger. A little bit of extra healing. No armor this time. That was nerfed a couple months ago, so maybe that is the case here. Just keep the healing flowing. Honestly, gonna find Valkyma. They're just gonna trade hits once or twice. Neither one comes out really hurt at all here, but level 7 hit a slight bit quicker for CCS, but they're able to keep ahead well enough as Artemis catch up pretty quickly. Ooh, Malevolence for Diablo. Going an auto-attack build, but going for a Q-based crit level 7. Not going to go for that cooldown reduction with Diabolical Momentum. So going for a bit of burst, but also a little bit of sustain. Very interesting. CCS, begin work. Taking out those Seed Guardians. We have the Trickery coming in as that is Imperius. Absolutely deleted. Osprey trying to hold the line, but Jotak in the backline and Artemis have just showed up and are murdering CCS as hard as they can, making the most of that body advantage at this early stage of the game. The objective here for CCS was delay, let Abatha get value, let them split push, let them get experience, but the kill from Artemis coming in so quickly. Don't let them soak. Don't give them time. Underneath 4, looking just to snowball ahead. If you let Abatha get ahead, it's hard to come back, and they refuse to give that over. A full XP lead, a full level lead coming in for Artemis right now. You can see in terms of experience, 2,000 experience currently going over to Artemis, holding them a solid lead here over the 300 of CCS. Finding all those kills, it's a big lead. Holding for the moment, trying to sustain, trying to delay. Osprey is slamming, trying to keep everything going in their favor as Imperius is taken out. Osprey tries to hold, but he's forced off the point and taken out. Another 2 kills, 6 kills, literally 10 times more experience now in terms of hero kills for Artemis than CCS. In terms of minion experience, though, it's still holding up. Yorick is split-soaking and dealing with Abatha. Another kill going over to Artemis as they absolutely crush their way through this. Looking to maybe pressure a keep at the 5-minute mark, 6-minute mark, as well the Terrors are coming in. They're probably getting this keep. Honestly, dropped low. Ashkan dropped low. Big cleanse coming out there with Lucio as they have level 10. They have high 5. They push their way through, crushing pressure coming in. The Terror spawns a little bit further back in lane. There was a minion that they did not deal with. Spear comes out, interrupted by the Shadow Charges. They try to focus onto Valkymer. Osprey comes in. It's going to end up being a 5v5 fight, but that is a money entomb, trapping them all inside. But the damage output not yet here. But Ashkan getting it out finally, goes in with that Lightning Nova and picks up the triple kill. And that might not just be keepless, gentlemen. With 20 seconds left until respawns, 15 seconds realistically, this might be game. As CCS are going to move on to the core. They're going to try and win this here and now. At the 7-minute mark, they pressure the core. Gib dropped low, 7 healing up. Polly comes out. They may have to give this up, but the Terror is so healthy. Looks like they will give this up. They will give this up. They will not commit. The shield on the core survives. The spawn time is just too low. As Artemis, with honestly a little bit too low to hold through that fight, they have to give it up. They get themselves a fort. They got themselves 2 forts, and to keep in this play, likely going to be 3 forts, as they will move their way down to bot lane and hold their experience there as well. We'll have to back away because Diablo's not there with them, and CCS not willing to give up yet. Do plan on playing aggressively with their own level 10s. They see Dark Horse. Valkymer moving forward, looking for the spear. Joltak might be the target. Tries to dodge, tries to sidestep. Ashkan in position. It's Wailing Arrow. They didn't go for the possession to try and focus down the Mephisto. The Wailing Arrow is just going to try and eat that backline, try and stop that Lucio from cleansing everyone out. You can't go with single target CC versus Lucio. They're going to step up. It's all in now. They have Ultimate Evolution, which is going to be dropped here as they try to sustain. Massive, the fleeting swipe to hold the line. But Caledon is focused down, taken out. Valkymer is drained by the Leoric. Osprey is eaten by Dark Horse. Leap is burned. But #1 player killer hero Lucio is going deep. He's going for distance. He's going for speed. He gets the kill. 7 picking up the kill onto that Sonya. They get Wit's End as well. That is going to be 3 kills and a clone kill. Level 13 is hit. And we are seeing Artemis just eating through the members of CCS at this point. Can't counterpick, stupid. They needed to get ahead with this Abatha, but they just aren't finding it. He's got 5,000 experience. He's doing his best, but Leoric, 8,000 experience. Trying to hold, trying to delay. Gib is just in a bad place right now. Not his own fault. If this is a safe place to be, under your fort is pretty safe. But when your opponents come through the fort, there's not a lot you can do. Just unlucky there as they pick up the kill. That's going to be the final fort of the game going down. Thank you for the follow, Brainer, as we see the Siege Cap coming out. Siege Cap just completely ignoring the neutrals. Just not interested. Joltak's just going to get this by themselves. As we see CCS, they're holding on. They're doing everything they can to try and keep themselves in this game. Grabbing sieges, grabbing wave clear, just trying to hold themselves in this. Double siege cap in mid lane. Just going to disable that using black arrows. They back away because the gank comes out and Gib this time will live. That keeps them alive. We have that cruelty for Diablo, a little bit of extra damage. The Dwarf, GG. Thank you very much for the follow. And Wolf, thank you for your follow as well. Oh my god, and Marod, hello. Thank you for your follow too, as the siege middle keep is absolutely doomed. Absolutely doomed. Going to be taken out here. And there's still 2 siege camps coming in here. There's not a huge amount they can do about this. This is just going to keep happening. Siege camp goes down, 2 keeps down, and, well, 3rd keep is currently being pressured. It's level 16 to level 12, as they're going to be picking up that domination. We get the paint the red for the sustain. There's the upper frequency, massive healing output boost for Lucio, Crushing Hope for Leo, who went Ominous Wraith with Crushing Hope, quite the mix. They dodge out the way. The Lurking Arbor Flow, I love that skin. I love that little knobby snake. Paint them red, keeping Dark Horse alive. There comes the ult from Mephisto. Beautifully done, Durance, with the APOC follow-up. Gibbs low, Osprey's low. Ashcon gonna follow up, gets one. Can't get Gib, but Valkymer is now completely isolated. Doesn't make it over the wall. Valkymer will be taken out, and this last keep shall be doomed. That is going to likely be game number 1 going over to Artemis, but there's still spawn time is low. 20 seconds left until Imperius. They might still just wait and get the plant terrors. Next one spawning soon. Mule does not heal the keep. They're trying again. This could be the throw. Gib doing everything he can. Staying alive. Osprey is back, has leap. Imperius is available. They drop Wailing Arrow. Little bit early here to try and hold it. Gib hovering around the curse circle. The curse sport to try and make sure that if Diablo charges, they can turn it. Big leap, but the cleanse high five immediately on the Dark Horse, but Gib dives deep and picks that up. Durance is sidestepped by Gib and Witzend, keeping them in this game, but that's a big charge from Odyssey. Valkymer is taken out, Osprey is low. Witzend and Gib try to hold this to give them ultimate evolution in 8 seconds. That could keep them in this game, trading 1 for 1. The second kill they've got, but charge into the entomb. Goodbye, Osprey. Gib dives deep to the backline with that haunting wave, and the Windrunner levels 13 to try and keep them in it. Can they hold? Imperius 12 seconds. Ultimate evolution has already been used. They're trying to delay. Flailing swipe buys Witzend some time, but he's focused down. So much damage. Abatha is trying to keep Gib alive. Here comes Valkymer. There are 6 catapults on this core. That is game number 1 going over to Artemis. Artemis taking the lead in this series in what is a pretty dominant game number 1. Looking very, very solid. 19 kills to 2 in what was about a 9-minute game. Twice as many kills as there were minutes in that game by Artemis, who absolutely crushed their way through. And Counterpick stupid. Need to reassess heading into game number 2 if they want to keep themselves in with a chance of making those playoffs. They need every domination they can get. They've already lost this domination, but any points could be important. They need anything they can. At the end there, damage output. You can see the damage outputs are actually relatively similar because the majority of the kills just came in so fast that it just did not make the difference here. Here are the talents for those who want them. Pretty normal stuff across the board. Different stuff. Again, Malevolence with this particular build of Life Leech and Feast on Fear is slightly less than usual, but it's still definitely solid enough. It looks like map pick has been given over to CCS once again. As we're going to be getting ready to head into game number 2. Our second map of this best of 3 series is going to be Cursed Hollow, with CCS being choosing map pick once again. Not choosing to jump in for a... not choosing to pick up first pick themselves. They still feel confident. Bringing out those maps. Will it work out in their favor? Or are they going to be fighting from behind again? We have our lobby invite, so we'll be getting set up for that. So, can Artemis close this out and beat out CCS? Or will we see CCS even up the score? The Abatha, less than successful for them in this particular game. Can they turn this round? Remember, everybody, if you're enjoying, please consider dropping a subscription, drop in a donation, using bits or the link below the stream. It is the reason I can keep casting these games, is because of your generosity. So that I can afford to, afford food, afford things. Remember affording things? Remember going places? That's a thing people used to do. Wait for the players to swap me off of one of the teams. There we go. They will let them know that the caster is ready. So it'll be good to jump into game number 2 as soon as possible. So, Cursed Hollow statistics. Let's have a look for these two teams. Cursed Hollow for Counterpick Stupid. 1 game, 0 wins. Artemis, on the other hand, 2 games, 0 wins. Artemis also now have a 50% win rate on Garden of Terror. Not bad. Boosting those numbers. Thank you very much for the sub, Snowladon. Very appreciated. We're using your Twitch Prime. And thank you very much for your sub, Caledon. Thank you very much as well, subbing with a tier 1. We are now one more sub, gift, or bits donation away from a hype trade. So keep it coming, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your support in this game number 1. We're getting ready for game number 2. The teams have said yes. I think we're good to go. Okay, the captain hats are correct. We're good to go. We're going to be jumping into game number 2 of this best of 3 series. Who will come out on top? Will it be the marvelous Counterpick Stupid, or will it be the magnificent Artemis? We'll be finding out. The game is taking its time to load. Once it has loaded, we will jump into it. That's how it be. That's just how we got a deal right now. All right, come on, game. Come on, game. Take your time. I thought they said they hit go, but I ain't seen a go. But, oh well, that's how it be sometimes. We're going to be getting ready to jump in as soon as possible, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you have a good time. Reminder, if you like these games... Ah, there we go, Wishy! Thank you very much for the hype train. Choo-choo! We're going all aboard, ladies and gentlemen. The teams are readied up now, so I think we finally have our draft. Thank you for subbing with your Twitch Prime. We have the hype train going. Let's see if we can hit level 2. We're already at 94% of the way through hype train level 1. So all aboard! We have a game. We have a hype train, meaning that it's time to rain. I'm bad at rhymes. Let's go. Game 2 underway. Let's go. It's going to be CCS on the left. It's going to be Artemis on the right. Who's going to come out on top in this game number 2 on Cursed Hollow? I expect CCS will probably still ban the Vikings and Samuro because they're still very scary. Brainer says, look at this handsome man. Brainer, when did you buy a new mirror? We're going to see Garrosh getting removed straight away by Artemis. Taking that out of the equation. Nice and simple start here. CCS, what do we have for you? Do you stick with those global bans, that Samuro, that Vikings? Do you stick with those? Or do they target something else? They still ban the Vikings. Samuro still a possibility for Artemis, and this is a very big map. Do they choose to go that way? Intriguing, intriguing. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 94% of the way through our hype train level 1. Never mind, we're 100% of our way through hype train number 1. Thank you very much, Breda, for your subscription. Very appreciated. And also, Caledon with the subscription as well. Thank you very much. Oh, Caledon gifted the sub to Breda. That is hype train level 1 completed. Caledon, thank you for the gifted sub. Breda, congrats on your sub. We're in hype train level 2. 4 minutes to try and complete it. Thank you for your support. You're not my dad, Breda. As we will see 22% of the way through hype train 2. Can we make it? They ban Lucio. Samuro has been freed. Will they pick it? Interesting. Samuro taken out of action right away. Will they go that way? Will they mix it up? Everyone's atting Snowladon. Snowladon? I know I'm pronouncing that one wrong, almost certainly. We're going to be seeing Mephisto as the early pickup once again for Artemis. Worked well last time. Why not pick it again? It's a good hero. Let's see what we get to. Mephisto on the board. Remember, everybody, if you like these games or if you missed one, then all of my VODs will be available a day or two after being cast on youtube.com/Tetcher. Sonya and Brightwing going to be coming out early for CCS. The Sonya once again. Brightwing a little bit more burst healing for that Sonya this time. Try and keep him alive, keep him sustained. 3 minutes left on the hype train, everybody. Choo-choo, we are chugging along quite nicely as the draft continues. We see Diablo and Tychus. Diablo on the board gives them some hard engage once again, but this time they bring the Tychus. A little bit of extra burst potential this time. They can go a little bit more aggressive with that. We'll see if it works out for them. They got that grenade. Reyna very much sticking to a Q-based, standard auto-attacking Q-based build. CCS. They remove the Malfurion. Still a very scary hero to deal with, especially with that Emerald Dream. Just take it out of action. Offlane still needed for Artemis. They still could absolutely go for the Samuro. Romruru, thank you very much for the sub with your Prime Gaming. You subscribed, not having to spend a single extra penny that you weren't already spending. A good choice, if ever I've seen it. Prime is pretty dope. And we're 50% of the way through the hype train. Choo-choo, with 2 minutes remaining. 1 minute 30 by the time you hear that message. It's at the top of your screen as May will be taken out of action. Will we complete Tier 2? Will the train get derailed? Will Artemis pick Samuro? Will CCS win Game 2? All of these answers coming up as soon as we see them. Sylvanas, once again. That Waiting Arrow was pretty solid last game. What is their tank? How do they deal with this? Arthas, if you're going to engage us, you're going to be slow while you do it. But Mephisto, going to be able to do a lot of damage to that Arthas. Not going to be as affected by the attack speed slow outside of that Shard of Hate at level 13 for Mephisto. So it won't be as affected, but will still help against Diablo. Tychus got to try and stay out of range of Arthas. Arthas going to have to be moving quite fast. Brightwing will help with that. Well, I appreciate that, Romruru. As Artemis, Leoric, and Deckard. Deckard really solid here. Deckard is one of the 2 big counters to Brightwing these days. Emerald, once you see Brightwing begin to teleport, is a very easy burst to try and stop anyone sustaining these fights. Medivh for CCS. They're worried about dying, so what do? They pick Medivh. Brave choice. Can they make it work? Let's see. They've got Leoric for that double soak to do Artemis, so they have a lot of macro. CCS have good wave clear with Sonya and Sylve, and now they have that global with Brightwing as well. That could help them out as we head into game number 2. Leoric just could be macroing once again. Deckard could be very scary here. Drop roots at the end of portals. We will have to see. 19 seconds left on the timer. The hype train is pulling into the station. Thank you all very much for your support. Halfway through a level 2 hype train is very appreciated as we are preparing to jump into game number 2. Can CCS bring it back with this Medivh? Or will we see the end of their journey? Will we see the end of their gamers? I'm checking to see if they have a Medivh win rate. Have they played Medivh before? They have not. Just throwing all the new stuff our way. Counterpick stupid. Bringing out the Medivh. Let's see what they can do with it as we are heading, ladies and gentlemen, into game number 2. Will it be the saving grace? Is this the guardian of their playoff dreams on the left-hand side? Counterpick stupid with Valkyma on that Arthas. Madathi, she'll be playing that Brightwing. Gib, he is on the Sylvanas. Wit's End is on the Medivh, and Osprey will be playing the Sonya. On the right-hand side, looking to 2-0 and be stepping for days, it shall be Artemis with Jotak playing the Leoric. We see Ashkan. It's on that Mephisto, honestly, on Diablo Dark Horse. They are playing the Tychus, and 7 is this time on Deckard with Lucio banned out this time. I am Tetcher. I am your caster. This is NGS, Division C West. Let's get this underway. Having a look at some of these level 1 talents. We're starting off with a Sapphire at level 1, which can definitely lead us into a Ruby. Slows on one, anti-heals on the other. Great for trying to lock people down. They tried to get Valkyrie onto the wall stun. Unable to find it at this early stage. Osprey gonna clear up. Just make sure that the waves are dealt with as best as they can. Geotac. Nice easy clear. Nothing really to worry about. Just dealing with the minion wave as best as they can. And is in fact looking like he wanted to double soak, but with Ashkan, honestly here, doesn't actually need to. Can just hang out down here, try not to die, clear the wave at towers. The unfortunate matchup of Osprey, the ranged off, the melee offlaner, gonna having to be fighting Tychus. Although Dark Horse already leaving. Lots of rotations from these teams. We're going to see 7 is staying up here. 7 is going to hold the lane while the Assassins do the Bruiser camp. We're going to be seeing this. We're going to be seeing a bit more of a commitment. Did I say Ruby instead of Emerald? My bad. My mistake. We're going to be seeing the Assassins. Usually we would see the support coming with one of these Assassins to try and burn through this camp while keeping everyone sustained and keeping a fast wave clear hero on the lane. But in this case, they are able to cap it. Dark Horse is still pretty sustained. It works out quite well for them. And 7 took barely any tower damage with how pushed up that lane was already. Works out in their favor. They get away with that quite effectively. As Tychus will begin burning through the siege camp as well. In the meantime, Give will match that on the other side. Potion of shielding. We're not going to go for the full gem build here. I still think we are likely to see the Emerald as the game goes on, but we're not going to see the Ruby as well. Not going for the big triple play here. Just going to try and deal with these bruises. Much better wave clear available here for Artemis as they have Diablo and Decade. Madathi, little bit outnumbered here. She will have some trouble clearing this out, but will do her absolute best. Excuse me. Swallowed wrong. Wit's End just going to be harassing away, gaining stacks. Already up to 12. Not doing too bad. They'll focus this down. Deal with the Bruiser camp themselves. Good route by Decade. Keep annoying. Good charge. They're going to try and focus onto Honestly. Takes a big chunk of damage. No one is going to go down as of yet. No percentage damage for the Sylvanas here. Going to be sticking with that Might of the Banshee Queen again. Osprey, once again, going to be multi-man ganked and will become First Blood as Artemis able to find the first kill of the game. No spite, once again for Ashkan. Very wide map, instead just going to stick with the static barrier, getting a little bit of shield sustain. Portal attempted and denied. Now he needs to get out of there. Because if he loses those stacks, that is going to be really hard to get those back. Which then survives. It's going to take to the skies. Harassment into bot lane. Jotak took a couple hits. Not going to be enough to finish them off. That was a Sapphire dropped. Madathi will eat some damage. But his Brightwing will just regain that back over time. Arthur's double stacking here with Frozen Waste and Frost Presence. Right now, just kind of having to wait under tower. Valkymer. A little bit outnumbered here. Osprey seeing a little bit of damage. Wit's End. Not the healthiest, but it's still nearby. We see Grenade for Tychus, but not fully. We're going to be seeing a dash here, getting the extra movement speed, the range dash of run and gun. That is a unique talent to see. In the rhythm is still pretty normal, but then also melting point. So they've got harassment and wave clear and mobility being focused here instead of the extra range and damage of that quarterback or the extra attack range to allow them to poke from further away. Very interesting to see. We'll see how well this works out for them as Dark Horse sets the trap, honestly, marching through. See if they can bait in Valkymer. Percentage damage, charge, flip, root will land with the knockback from the grenade. Portal comes out and Valkymer will barely survive that. But that is tribute number 2 going over to Artemis here. Sonya, ooh, interesting. Hurricane. Went with Slam at level 1, but Hurricane at level 4. The 2-second cooldown reduction and removal of roots. Don't blame them for going for the removal of roots against a Mephisto, but it is still an interesting pickup here, when normally that Slam talent at level 4 gives you a big boost of damage output, and if you were planning on going a more sustained build, then sometimes the level 1 can do the level 1 healing or block talents can give you a lot of extra value. Block here would not work so much, but that War Paint could be pretty effectively. It could be pretty effective. Zoning once again by Artemis, who same build for Diablo once again. Charged with Malevolence. Auto attack, Malevolence, charge forward, big flip into the root, but Force of Will and Brightwing helping out, and the turret picks up the kill. That's the first kill on the board for CCS as they look for Ashkan to focus him down too, trying to chase him. Valkymer wants anyone, anything. There's the root from Deckard, and honestly, escape. Wit's End! He goes down. The stacks are lost. Down to 0 stacks. Heroics are very weird. We see Draken Laser Drill. We see March of the Black King, which has to be burned here to push on forward, but it works. Valkymer is finally going to pick up the kill onto Jotak. Ashkan interrupts Gib on the channel. Stay a while and listen. Will buy them some time. 1-4-1. The Draken Laser Drill has not been used yet as Tychus arrives. Laser does a little bit of damage. They try to chase onto Valkymer. Ashkan doing some good damage. Osprey is deep in this. It's a 2 versus 3, but they're committed. Durance doesn't land. Laser does good damage. Force of Will keeps them alive. That's going to be CCS getting away with that. They get the tribute. They get their first kills on the board. And they have, for the first time in this series, a lead as they hit level 10 and level 11 a little bit earlier. We will lose Medivh. He will... Never mind. Still Medivh. We have Leyline. We have Sindragosa. They really want to try and snowball a lead here. Snowball a victory. CCS wanting to get themselves back in this series. We're seeing top being cleared by Sonya. As they try to hold for the moment. Valkymer creeping forward. Good scroll of ceiling. Hits Valkymer, but he's got Frost Presence, keeps himself tanky. Osprey in the backline, but is immediately targeted. Force of Will comes out. Durance into the stay a while. Shuts them all down, but Brightwing cleanses the team. They take out Leo. Osprey going to try and sprint through this. They're not using the leap or Sindragosa, and they may have to as Valkymer's dropping low. Force of Will is actually just carrying them through this. Wit's End is barely alive. Health bars low for the members of CCS, but there's leap. They chase forward, trying to set up. They don't land the route, but they still commit. Apoc is split, but that's done a big charge of Malevolence onto Gib, who's forced to back away as Jotak moves on forward. They lose Osprey. Valkymer's taken out, and despite a valiant effort, that will still be the fight going over to Artemis, who just have too much sustain. The damage output not yet there for CCS. Medivh not stacked. Sylv trying her best, but she's having to solo damage deal, and they did not burn that summon Sindragosa at this stage. Sonya might be worth going Ruthless at level 13 for that extra AoE damage to try and commit some more kills. They're going to try and burn through a boss. It is spotted by Medivh, and he does have Leyline. The dream is real. Looks like he's going to do it. He Leylines, it only catches Diablo. Brightwing teleports in, they cleanse it. They're trying to hold, but there's just too much damage. Stay a while to set up even more. Durance comes out, they focus down, and Leap is burned. Osprey will live. Manatee is trying to retrieve. Valkymer is trying to save him, trying to get them both out, but he can't. Manatee, speed boost, sneaks away. Blink heals to minions, but Valkymer is left and abandoned there. Let's see that again. Let's see the end. The Brightwing Collectors have been money here. They cleanse them out, but the damage output is just too high. The laser actually getting money value here. Sonya died in the real game, but so much value there. We rarely see laser getting such good work done, but they can't deal with it because they were forced to funnel in piece by piece, one at a time, preventing them from really going any harder than they wanted to, with Arthas especially being the slowest to the fight due to, you know, being dead. Level 13 is hit, though. We got some big old healing potions, super healing potions for Artemis here. Big bonuses. Sylv poking in as best she can. Tychus doesn't even need his melting point there for those grenades. Honestly, trying to hunt for a kill. In the meantime, Jotak is absolutely wrecking. Win us with the raid. Thank you very much. We are in game number 2 of Counterpick Stupid versus Artemis. Boss is pushing in against CCS. They're trying to hold the line. Mid fort goes down. That's all 3 forts taken out. So they're trying to hold Wit's End. back up to 2 stacks after losing them the second time. Here comes the laser. Servich, thank you very much for the follow. Here comes Syndragosa. Their first time they've used it this game, but stay a while. Apoc! Oh, that is a good force of will. March of the Black King rolls on through, though. Thank you for the sub, Winners Tetcher, as we see Osprey backing up. He's doing everything he can. Osprey trying to hold the line, but that was just too much damage. We will see that again as the boss is going to be started by Artemis. They tried to hold, they tried to commit to something. They burned the Syndragosa. The Draken laser drill is dropped to try and sustain. The Syndragosa comes out, but stay a while. Apoc, they hold through with the force of will, but March and too much early damage in that fight is too much for them to deal with. And with that, Artemis hold a 2-level lead. Medivh comes in. He tries to make the play, but the stacks are lost. He's CC'd out. And Artemis get their second boss. They're looking for their first keep of the game. Q's on level 13 and 16 for the Tigers as Wieners. Thank you for the 69 bits. So they're going to begin pushing in. They got the start. They got the stick of bonk, the Herodric staff. They try to make their way forward, try to set this up. Voltkin88, thank you very much for the followers. We see the push coming in from Artemis. This will 100% be the first keep of the game, but can they get more? They target Valkyma, who's going to get that right way TP in, but it's a stay a while. Listen, sleep on to both of them. Both woken up by Ashkin. This might get the chance to escape. Manatee is forced to escape, and it gets their way through the Lightning Nova, but Osprey is surrounded. The Herodric staff stuns out Osprey, prevents the spin. Charge Brightwing came out to save Osprey, but she's picked off. March takes out Valkyma, and they're in trouble. They get Jotak. They get Dark Horse. They're trying to hold. The laser is killed. The boss is on the core. 80%, 79%. They're going to try and hold this, but it looks like Counterpick Stupid will survive. Osprey, the boss route, it does a lot of damage. They gotta be careful. Getting chunked here as honestly realizes, oh, everyone's really low. I can probably kill them by myself, but it's finally going to be zoned away by Osprey on that Sonya and will force them to back up. 49% left on the core of Counterpick Stupid. They're still in this game, but it's looking very grim. Tiger Fish, thank you very much for 444 bits. That is several bits. Because you are foursome. As Ashkan grabs the tribute, setting themselves up for their next curse. 1 tribute in. It's currently 1-1 in terms of tributes. But still, talents are even. They make their way back in. We got that giant slammer for Sonya. This will help out a lot. Arthas busting out the Remorseless Winter, giving them a little bit of extra rootage. Anything that can help. Medivh, heroic cooldown reduction. Those ley lines could be the play, could be the save. They look to invade the camp. Too late. But they do still look for kills. They are aggro, but Wraithwalk shuts it down. Instead, scroll to ceiling, rooting, Diablo, Odyssey, over the wall, going to try and set this up with the Apocalypse, but they all get out of there. Beautiful job by Manatee to get them out as the portal is used. That's some Medivh right there. Manatee and Wit's End saving them there. And can't Counterpick Stupid still in this game. They try to hold. They clear out mid. The tribute is on their side. Ashkin does some good damage, but a lot of it is blocked by that Bruiser Camp, that spell armor. They make their way over the wall. Gib channeling in already. Ashkin will probably come in for the interrupt. They get the tribute. That's 2 for 1. They drop the Syndragosa. This may be a commitment as Osprey chases forward. Jotak in from behind. Wailing Arrow only hits Diablo as Dark Horse kiting backwards to get away. Drops the Draken Laser Drill as Osprey is deep. They go super deep. Burn the leap. But now Medivh's in trouble. Winston use the portal to get back out. Draken Laser Drill is doing a lot of damage to Valkyma, who's taking through. Anti-heal on Emerald. Free man sleep. Durance onto Sylvanas. They lose Osprey, but they're retreating. Trying to get out. The Draken Laser Drill kind of trapped them there for a bit as they all grouped up. Gib is in the bad spot. He's going to try and escape. Tribute is right next to them. Will the Forsaken cleanses out the charge. And we are seeing Artemis trying to get kills, trying to get value, and we have to see CCS give this up, which is fine. Sneaky port back there from Valkymer. They have a tribute advantage. This is not a curse. Their biggest priority right now, don't lose, as the core is taking a lot of damage. Valkymer will deal with it. Wit's End barely makes it back to base. Same with Gibbs. As we see the commitment with 26 left on the core, we see Artemis looking to see if they can just end it here. APOC will land. They go for Wit's End. Leoric is going to try and end the core from behind. Ashkin coming forward. They've got to kill him here and now, but it is not enough, and the GGs are called. Artemis take the 2-0 in this best of 3 series. Very nicely done by Artemis, able to take the 2-0 in this best of 3 series, closing out and winning in a 2-0. 14 kills to 7. A much more convincing performance this time by the side of Counterpick. Stupid looking so strong, making the aggressive plays when they needed to. It looked so good. But they just could not deal with the power that was behind Artemis as they just cruised through a lot of those fights, smashing as much as they could. But with that, we have a look at the times. We can see here, though, Gibb really trying to keep up. 49k on the hero damage. Tychus 59k. And yeah, that was with Draken Laser Drill. Really doing a good job to just try and burn their way through their enemies there. Mephisto actually not keeping up as much here. A little bit less damage than Sylvanas. Winning the siege damage, though, pretty effectively outside of Sylv, who, again, Gibb really put on quite the show there. Best in siege, best in hero, just doing everything they can. They want a solo assassin on the team, though. Alrighty, so with that, we're going to see if anyone is available from the members of we're going to see if anyone is available from the members of Artemis for an interview. Who do I message? Let's go ahead. Let's jump back to me while we see if we can find them. Yes, I did just call them Gibbs. I'm used to saying Gibbs. Who do I whisper? Let's just whisper Dark Horse, because he's the first person I found. No particular reason, literally just the first person I scrolled up and found. Interview. Feels good. Alrighty, we'll see if anyone jumps in for an interview. In the meantime, while we wait for a reply on that, remind everybody, if you enjoyed today's cast, consider dropping a subscription or a donation in the stream. You can use the donation link below the stream or donating bits. It is literally the only way I can keep casting. Looks like we're going to have 2 people jump into for the interview. We're going to have Honestly and Dark Horse. Honestly is already here, sneaking in while I wasn't looking. Hello, friend. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you, thank you.
Good job. Do we have Dark Horse as well? Yes, we do. Dark Horse made it in as well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Alrighty. So, before I go too far into this, I have to turn Dark Horse down a bit. There we go. Easy peasy. Alrighty, so let's talk about the table here. With this win, it's a domination, which I believe are 3 points, correct?
Yes.
Alright, with that win, you are going to be jumping up just ahead of Clouded Minds After Dark, while you still have a couple more games to play than them, meaning you are close behind, in fact tied, with Regen Divine. Have you played against either of those teams yet?
We have.
Go ahead.
We played Regen Divine game 1. And if anybody hasn't watched it, it was a real barn burner too. And then I think we played CM After Dark 2 weeks ago.
Nice. Alrighty, fair enough. And who came out on top in those?
We did.
Alrighty, so you're creeping your way up the board, coming into the playoffs. And as the playoffs are coming up, you guys are looking pretty set to make it in at this point with that win, creating some space between you and the next team behind you, Bloodbath and beyond. So, with the playoffs coming up, who are you excited to play against again? As you have basically played against everyone at this point, although you are missing 2 games, I believe.
Yeah, so we haven't actually played Bloodbath and Beyond yet this season. We've been in a division with them 3 seasons, I think, now. So we've played them a few times before. Then we haven't played 210 Blackman Street yet either. And as far as people were excited to play, like every game in this in this division is crazy. Like you were just looking at the points, so you can see how close it is. Like 1 through 8 could all within like the last 3 weeks have shuffled completely around because everybody's beating everybody else up, and it's really fun division to play in. So whoever we end up playing against, it should be a good time.
Oh yeah, most of the divisions I've casted, or at least looked at the tables for, you can see usually a couple green arrows, a couple red arrows on the website, and then a lot of grey dots. This is just arrows for days. Everyone's moving around, and it's great to see. So that'll be fun. Who are you looking forward to playing against the least if you get to playoffs?
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. The only loss we've had this season is to TRSG, Team Rainbow Spike Strike Go. So that's who I would like to face sometime in the playoffs, but and get some revenge a little bit. But I mean, really, all of the games have been awesome this year. So I'm honestly looking forward to playing everybody.
Nice. Sounds good. Sounds good. Where do you see yourself finishing when the playoffs comes around? Where are you aiming for?
First.
Hell yeah.
I mean, always aim for first, right? There's definitely some solid teams, though.
Sounds good to me. So, let's start talking about the games here. For starters, your opponents went for map pick both times and went to 2 very large maps. And they banned out the Vikings in both games and Samuro in game number 1. So, who's the dirty player?
People really like playing against Jotak. It's their favorite.
All right, glad to hear. Makes sense to me. I don't have your stats up. Your stats of the Storm up. Where's Jotak in the XP per minute chart? Because I assume quite high up if those are in his repertoire.
Yeah, I think so. He doesn't get to play them a ton.
Last I saw, he was 1 or 2 though.
Nice. I mean, he still got massive amounts of XP with Leoric out-soaking Abathur in game at number 1, which we did see the Abathur. Were you expecting that? Did you do anything different to prepare for it?
No, we were actually really surprised to see the Abathur pick. Well, we were preparing for a totally different draft from CCS, so we didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, they threw out a lot of picks that they just hadn't picked before. Were you using their stats to try and prepare for them?
Yeah, so we used their stats from the season. This was kind of our scrim partners, too, in the off-season. So we've played CCS a lot. I don't even... 25 times, probably, or something. Like, we've scrimmed against them quite a lot, and they still pulled out some stuff we hadn't seen before, even though we've scrimmed against them a ton, so...
Alrighty, cool to see. So you guys went with a very aggressive composition. So I have a question for Honestly about your Diablo build in particular. Why that build in particular? Because you sort of start off with the more traditional auto-attack builds, but then go into Malevolence for a much more burst-heavy build. So I would like to hear your insight on this.
More damage is good. that's all it really is. And then taking attack speed on 13 just makes Diablo even that much more to deal with, especially if I can get stuns and we're in those corridors.
Makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. So you guys ran Mephisto both games and seem to play it to very great effect. Where do you feel he lies right now in terms of assassins?
We are terrible on Mephisto, for anybody listening to this, and don't like to play him at all. He's a terrible assassin.
He's the worst.
Who really shouldn't ever be played. But no, Ash, as most people in our division know, is a pretty terrifying Mephisto player. If he's the one controlling him, I think he's absolutely S tier.
Makes sense to me. So there's not a huge amount to say about Game 1, as you guys did have a pretty solid play just in general of just rotating and killing, which was most of the game. But you did try to end at 7 minutes. Brave or stupid, I guess is the question.
There's always at least one moment in all of our series where we try to throw. I think
that was it.
That was the moment. We had 3 of them down. We still had a pretty healthy Garden Terror, so we started to hit the core and then realized, oh, death timers are only like 10 seconds right now, so we can't really do this.
Not lucky. I mean, you went back in again and very nearly did the same thing, but you were able to end out the game after picking up a couple kills. So let's move on to game number 2, where you guys were, again, fighting into a Medivh this time. Another potentially unusual choice. But you guys swapped out the... hang on, who was your second assassin in game number 1? You swapped out the Reyna for the Tychus, despite Reyna not being banned. What prompted the change?
We just... I like both of those heroes. There's some other ones I played too. Just with the composition we were building, felt like Tychus worked in well. He can really burst down people that Diablo flips over. Raynor would have worked there as well, but camps are a little bit more important on Garden of Terror, so the Exterminator is just prioritized a little more there, I think.
Makes sense to me. And 7 ended up getting their Lucio banned out, swapping over to the Deckard. What is the priority on the Deckard right now? Because he's sort of fallen off a little bit in terms of priorities for a lot of teams.
7 is great on whoever he plays. So, Deckard or Anduin or Lucio, he's really good at adapting, his picks to, the style that we want to run or into the comps that the other teams are drafting.
Makes sense. I actually made a misprediction early on where I saw you guys pick up a Diablo Mephisto, and I was just like, oh man, if they pick Alex Straza, this is going to be so troll. Just with full globes. But it worked out very well with the Lucio and Deckard instead, because it turns out killing people is just as good as getting globes. So, final question about game number 2. You guys did have a couple fights that were a little bit more sketchy, where CCS were able to get some more control. And just as an expansion on that, you were able to turn them around with Draken Laser Drill. So the first question is, what the F word I can't say on NGS?
So I like Laser Drill. I think there's some maps that you have to go Odin. So like Infernal Shrines, Odin is just too good. You go Odin. Some of the point control maps, though, or where you want to defend a certain point, I think that it can actually be super strong if used well. And their team kind of had to be up in front. Like Right Wing wants to be close, and they had 2 melee who want to be close. And so I just felt like if we dropped that in the back line, then there's just a lot of free damage going out. On top of that, In the Rhythm was getting stacked really well really early. And if you can minigun the whole game, then you don't need to transform. So,
yeah. And that actually reminds me, you went the extra dash range and movement speed on level 1 instead of what if you're going for like a more auto attack build, the more traditional choice, the attack range. So, where is the value in between the attack range and the movement speed?
I was just scared of Artemis. Figured if he got me an a Tempest, then I could use the extra dash range to get myself out.
Perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. Love to hear logic like that. Alrighty, with that, I'm going to leave the floor open to you. Any shout-outs, anyone you want to thank, anyone you want to call out and tell them they're trash. The floor is yours.
First, thanks to you for the cast. Very much appreciated. You're a great caster, so we always love when you pick up our games. Shout out to the team and CCS and the whole CCS community. We've played with them a bunch. A great group of players. Always fun to play against them and doing really great things for the community. And shout out to the team coming together here at the end of the season when we need to.
Sounds good to me. Anything to add?
No, just reiterate, shout out to you. Thanks a bunch. We like getting casts, and we all agree that you're pretty awesome. So congratulations. And shout out to the team as well. Everybody played really well today. Hard to complain about 2 good wins. And CCS, I don't think it's quite had the season they wanted this year, but we respect them as a team. Like I said, we were scrim partners, and they've beat up on us plenty. So we came into this taking it serious, and they came out with some new stuff, and we were able to play well.
Makes sense to me. Alrighty then, I will let you go to celebrate with your team. Good luck in the rest of the season. You've got a couple more matches to go before playoffs, and I wish you luck in them.
All right, thank you.
Thank you much.
Alrighty, have a wonderful night. And with that, everybody, it shall be the end of our time together. Unfortunately, we must face our curtain for the evening, but there will be more games soon. I'm going to try and plan something next week once I know what the Storm Division schedule is and what my team schedule is, because I am playing an NGS as well, and we have quite a few flex matches scheduled. Oops! We're going to be getting ready to do those as much as possible, so I'll try and fit in a cast next week. If not, look for the week after, and we'll try and get something in there as well. For now, though, if you enjoyed, drop a subscription or a bits or Streamlabs donation using that little thing in the chat or below the stream so you can check those out. If you missed any of these games, you can find them on the video section of my stream or on youtube.com/Tetcher, where we also have our new news show with me and Jinxie. Excuse me, I butchered that. Between me and Jinxie Cat, we will be bringing you all Heroes Esports news from the highest level of play as best we can on Stormwatch. I did the first episode, episode 2. Jinxie Cat will be the wonderful host for you, so make sure you subscribe to check that out as well. Make sure you follow so you can see when I go live. You're all absolutely wonderful. Frosty Hots, your timing is impeccable. I'm sorry. But we are going to be finishing for the night. Thank you all very much for watching. I will find someone to raid you all over to. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you all next time. Have a good night.